seen this one before. I told you how to put it together, didn't I? You see there's a video on putting the 4 patch together perfectly, so you get nice seams. I've also now, I bring this along, I've also joined the second 4 to the first 4, and you can't see it, but right here where I've got a bit of fluff to pull out, there's only one seam to match, which is the seam that is the halfway seam. Okay, it's in black, but there aren't any other seams to match, so that's good. So now, moving along. Oh, by the way, I've got to say, see, I'm sporting my Destemorte pincushion, which I now can't work without. It's brilliant. Oh, and while I'm here, I might as well tell you, I've made the round petal one as well, which I've just got to sew onto the base, the ruched elastic base, and then I got another one that's my petal one. I'll show you that soon. So now all we need to do is to put the other 4 block, which is mirrored to the one that we made that end. And how do we do it? Well, we've got no seams to match, but what we do need to do is part from the middle one. So I will just bring that in, all right, and pin it the way I'm going to sew it, so I know that that corner is firm. The next thing I do is pin the centre, okay, so I know that that seam is firm. All right, then obviously we're hoping, aren't we now, that the bottom fits nicely. So yeah, make sure that that fits nicely, so we're there, and so it doesn't gape and spoil, and just putting another couple of pins in along the way so it doesn't gape and shift under my machine, but there are no seams to match, so that's fine. Now, having done that, as you know, I want to keep things true. I always looking to keep my work true, and so I want to just pin that seam there, right, and just check with myself that we are laying true on top of the one before, okay, because this is how we keep the quilt nice and straight along the top, down the side, along the bottom, and obviously the side that we're just about to sew. So now I can show you that that's the left hand top piece, the middle piece, and now the right hand top piece. Okay, and that again is the only seam to put together, and it's nice and straight. If I show you, moving it along, so from there, move it along, and you see it's nice and straight across the top. And that, which I don't think you can't see all of it, but going from there, 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 going to there. That is the width now, without the borders. That is the width of our quilt. I'll measure for you and tell you what that width is. Alright. Next 4 down. Oh, in answer to the question of how wide is it, I did write that down. Without any borders, it's going to be 54 by 72, okay? Once the borders are on, it should finish at 64 by 82, alright? So there's 5 inches of border to go all the way around it, basically, which is made up of components. So anyway, working along the next 4 patch down the pattern, and I will put up a PDF so you can download the entire quilt top now and pin it on your wall as I am, so that I can keep my eye on what goes where, so that I don't mock it up and sew the wrong thing to the wrong thing, right? So that's that 4 patch done, moving down the quilt. This is the next 4 patch, moving down the quilt, which has got half of the centre bloom on it. There's only half of it at the moment. So these two need to go together, and then I need to make another 4 of these mirrored, well, you know, not mirrored, but put them so that they are going the way the pattern goes. All right, make another 4 and put on the end of that. And then once I've done that, that's half the quilt. Obviously these then need to be sewn to the top row of 4. So that's half the quilt made. So now, in exactly the same way as we always do, you know, we are going to make sure we square up, and I'll just turn it round for ease for me. So I know this is the side I want to sew, so I'll do the end. I'll there isn't, you know, there is, yeah, there is a centre. There's always going to be a centre one to marry up. Okay, and the end one nice and firm. Okay, and then I will pin, there's nothing matched, but I will just pin it so it doesn't gape. And now these are quite large pieces. When I say gape, you see, by the time you put that under the machine, it can shift the bottom layer a little bit. So this is why I like to pin and keep things pinned in place when I go to the machine, so that it's, when I'm sort of taking it over and I'm dragging it, and this sort of, you know, as you do, you can't help it, but you do, then I know that if I've got it pinned square, it can all of a sudden start to shift slightly while I'm at, you know, while I'm going and I'm at the machine. So this is why I do it. All right. Right. So now, no matter what I do, because it's pinned, still taking out pieces of paper, I can sew down my right hand side, and that's that one done. And then, as I said, mirror this one on the other end, and that'll be half the quilt made, which is lovely. And then we need to start with the borders. Well, I'll give you a quick insight into that, because I've started to put them together. So this is the top border, or some of the top border, it's not all of it, there's another piece that needs to go on. But can you see that these are bespoke triangles? Okay, and I have drawn them literally that they fit the width of the quilt. This is going to be using templates. You are going to need a template to be able to cut out that large triangle, and then the other template is so that you can cut out the well, it's the other way around on this one, cut out the end ones. Okay, so that's, I like that. All right, so there are templates that you need to, you can do it on A4 is best, because to be honest, A3 it doesn't help you at all. There's one seam in there for doing it on A4. Anyway, so yeah, so we're starting to do or we will be starting to do the borders, not next week, the week after we start with the borders. And can I just say, before you get carried away with it all, that the top borders is the same as the bottom borders except the colour change, but the side borders, the triangles, are not the same size as this. They are different sized to as I say, bespokely fit the length of the quilt. So anyway, that's something to look forward to, isn't it? So if you're enjoying this with me, you know, and you're getting together your squares and doing it all really nicely like this, I hope you would leave me a comment or something underneath, because it would be nice to hear from people that are sewing with me, or even just your opinion on what you think would be lovely. Right, thank you very much.